About to be doing another Adventures in the Past. Reasoning? Because I looked in the Playing Online and BB Tag playlist and I had missed some replays because the replays that was uploaded by another channel ended up getting deleted. So we're about to have personally commentary from yours truly, and also you could say your one and only Lit Mac, Death, Josh, the Scum Attack, or you'll say the Rat. So, context. This is Master 4, Death Slayer 553. This is close to the peak Death you know now. Arguably, I think this is right before, this is right before Evo, I'll say. But basically, I'll go over matchups, explain during these replays, and I'll figure out how I play Noel to the front of it. So, key thing to notice here with Hakumen, Tiger, Yosuke, and Gordo with the matchups. Number one, as I'll go and say this right now, Gordo against Hakumen and Tiger is really a pretty workable matchup. It's not the best for him, but he can at least, he's not going to be doing much compared to Yosuke. The reason why is because Yosuke is going to just have a lot more mobility, since Yosuke is going to have an easier time making Hakumen miss with his hitbox. Which, if you ever seen the video uploads on my dude Black Shikamaru, you'll see how I intentionally made Hakumen 5A miss and 2A, which made pretty much his normal terrible. And why I had super to counter basically Hakumen's throw was mainly because it not only really just forces a clash, so it could just still be offense anywhere it goes, or even defense. But it's more just to prevent the damage, even though it's like minor damage, you could say. But you just sometimes want to, when you're real low, and you kind of don't want to risk any form of damage like that. But let's just say teabagging got me what I deserve, right? I got overconfident saying, oh, I had this match in the bag, I got this, and then, you know, he shut me down. So, get ready. And the reason why I teabag is not out of disrespect. When I teabag, I just like to be messing around, being like, come on, fight me, get in my face. And for a sad circumstance like me, he was like, I bet, got in my face, whooped me down. Now, Noel against Gordo is actually a very favorable matchup. Since Gordo mainly capitalizes off of players' mistakes, this is actually, I'll say, is perfect for him. But I've seen people as well playing Yosuke and Gordo. And I always thought, like, at least to get my reasoning to why I played Yosuke and Gordo at that time, compared to, like, with a lot of other bizarre, weirdly teams. Like, I remember we were playing teams like Carmine and S, Rachel, Carmine. Man, I was so all over the place. I was playing stuff like Gordo, Hakumen, Noel, and who else? I think it was Noel and Makoto. Yeah, Makoto. But mainly, I'll say the one issue I'll say when it comes down to at least the matchup part, when it comes down when you're playing Hakumen, Hakumen does have insane damage, but he has, as I'll say, really lack of screen control, and his moves are real slow, which you could do punishes like that to Hakumen, which I had intentionally called my assist just in case I need to cross combo the super. Which, if you're wondering, that is a valid way to catch people. Because BB Tag can be a very strategic game if you have everything kind of mapped out and you can think fast. So if you got that fine, you should be good. And with that being said, there's really not too much Noel can do except for shoot the armor, and got the plot armor of the Calamity Trigger and brought that back. But get ready. Now, this is for sure, you could say it was a rematch, which, you know, I for sure needed that rematch. Like, you just don't know. I was feeling I was tilted after that loss. But, So the gameplay here was kind of the same, but this time I was going to have to play a lot more. Let's just say I have to play a bit passive aggressive. I have to constantly do what I normally do, but also I have to keep in mind that Tager, really, even though he doesn't seem like a threat really against Yosuke, Tager magnetism is still an issue. And the reason why I have super anytime I see a Hakumen or characters with the aerial super in the air is because it's not, in most cases, it's just not worth it. It's not worth going for an anti-air sometimes with characters like Hakumen if you see they got bar, like 2-bar, because then they can super back and punish you for doing that. So anytime they air dash, which is why I love Rachel, and I'll say Rachel is easily just a top best character in this game, is because of the fact that you can actually still combo off of her super. You can still combo off of that super, then cross raid, and that would be around like 8k off in itself. Or if you want, you can super and immediately change characters. Or you can then use her super and beta burst. That's what I love so much about Rachel as a character, now that I had got to learn her thick and through and thin. And for Gordo, the reason why I went as far as to learn him because of the fact I just love the challenge of difficult characters that pays off. But I guess you could say it should have made me a Batista main in Uni, but I'm sorry, I'm not a female, and plus I care for my fingers. So argue with me all you want. So I know what you're wondering. Why sometimes, well, not really if you're wondering, but I was going to explain. The reason why when I be doing pressure and you'll sometimes see me whipping inputs, I might sit here and every now and then intentionally wait and pause midstream and combos, is because really, if they don't know when you're going to attack, think about it like this for the defense, right? PDX has to guess right now, am I going to rush him down or move forward? But I don't. Am I going to rush to him for a throw? But I'm not, and I'm constantly back and back. So he don't know exactly when to super because I'm making it hard for him to guess. Which is, you could say, well, basically you're just saying constantly keep him guessing. Yes, but also to a degree, know when to actually be aggressive. That's kind of the way I had lost the first game, was because I was being aggressive, but also being unknowingly passive by just sitting there teabagging and not really, you just talent. Now, Gordo is Yo against Lune and Hilda. Context here, basically before me and JP did the whole Phantom Thieves gig, and I was actually viewing the ranked matches, Duelist Arcana, if I said the name correctly, I seen Duelist Arcana previously was actually fighting other players at higher ranks and winning. So knowing me, when I seen the guy that night and I matched up with him, I was like, I bet, let me fight him. So if you over here fighting these players and getting them a good work, bro, oh, I can't wait for this. So if you're wondering why necessarily Gordo is having a big struggle here, most Hildas in general, oh yeah, as you see the whiff. I always say if the whiff will sometimes give people, man, they're not expecting it. But most Hildas, they're just going to zone you and then JC away, and that's the problem with having a character really like Gordo. Mainly Gordo, in theory, could sit here and get in and close in on Hilda, but sadly, this isn't really like Uni, which means the laws here will be different. And I accidentally DP'd there. But also as well, one thing with net play, when you do input, you know, everybody knows about the streets of BB Tag netcode, bro. Everybody that plays in the casual lobbies and played in room matches or ranked grind like I did, understand. So it's like, really the main goal here, the main ace is I pretty much was talent. I went to talent. Say, oh yeah, Izzy-Oi is all I need, which I'm not lying though. Izzy-Oi for real could just be the closer for this whole game. But really, Izzy-Oi is kind of the only really key thing that can actually bring the game back. Gordo really against these two characters itself, Gordo has the highest chance of really taking out Lene. But Hilda, really, I wanted Hilda to really be snuffed out by Izzy-Oi, which that went according to plan. I sit here and I always say this to this day, I could have won this match I could have won this match if I would have snapped in the air more. But it's like, man, it sucks when you view a match afterwards and then you're like, man, if I would have did one or two things differently, I could have won that. And this is one of the situations where even to this day, when I look back at this match, I always scream because I've got robbed. It's crazy when you know you got robbed. And then it's something like that. If I was like an inch closer, I would have closed out that match. I still to this day feel robbed. That match mentally crushes me. I'll be sitting there sleeping at night being like, man, you remember that time you missed the DP and you lost again? Bro, that keeps me up at night right there, bro. Now, you finna see a cardinal sin of tag, as I like to say. You can also have some fun and see by the world. But when we of the hub, we say the cardinal sin of tag. We always like to say BB tag is a one-player game, and sadly, as my friend over here is experiencing, nothing like when you're blocking on wake up and the game does not allow you to block. So it's just like, man, you gotta. And then to the other person you know is over here just super sweaty. That's like a huge POV right here, bro. Like, oh no. I think as well too, I kind of do enjoy playing BB tag like this though. Sadly though, it's like IRL stuff, but man, I so enjoyed the times I used to be on this game 24/7. But I'm actually kind of happy too that Uni as well. Uni 2 is about to be coming out, which means that I'm about to be record chasing again. But that's enough of my talking and rambling. Hopefully you'll take any advice utilizing cross combo to utilize cross throws, cross swaps, and if you're wondering, I don't mind actually showing. This is gonna be real quick. I got y'all real quick because what am I if I'm not a helpful person? So what I mean about active change stroke, pretty much it's basically where you. Let me show the button inputs. Active throw and swap is basically a strategy a lot of people sometimes use when they just try to cause pressure. But really when you throw, you just press X. And the reason why you sometimes would probably want to do this is the fact, like, let's just say the person is blocking awfully a lot, right? Which you could be like, well, okay. Normally you could do something like that, right? But in other cases, if you want to, you could then settle for something more of like the fake out and then go for something like that. That's a little bit more advanced. I was gonna say, why in the world would I ever want to sit here and cross combo and then throw? Think about this in the mixed potential wise, right? Because really, if they're expecting an animation like that and they don't see it, but then they end up seeing like a faster throw, it's gonna throw anybody off, you know? That's like if you were to do this, there's gonna be like but when they see an animation come out, you can still do that. Man, you might sit here if you want to, not even go for a throw. You can sit here and do this, and then just 5C him. You know, it just you kind of don't know with situations like that. Really, it's just a big guess. But when you get thrown, knowing how laggy the game is, you really won't even expect it. Let's be real. But I am done. Hopefully now. Hopefully, finally, after all these times I said this is over, I'm done. No more upload. And life keeps telling me and giving me reasons to upload. I can finally say I'm done. This is painful, man. I just can't do it. I can't take. Y'all stop.